Welcome to the Light Aspects lecture on Fortitude. My name is Lathea Thompson and I will be guiding you through this lecture. Fortitude is the emotional strength and conviction to press forward in any given situation, which poses an internal or external adversity. Developing fortitude allows a Jedi to show that they are not willing to give up until they have drawn their last breath. During an interview with Ben Sabecki of Details magazine in 2013, Andy Spaulding painted Jediism with one sentence: "Our religious observance is found through service to the community." Everything we do as Jedi is to prepare us for being the most effective assistants to the community we are part of, to move them forward into a brighter future. As such, when we consider what we need to have fortitude in, we must first define what a healthy community looks like, and what niche we can fall into to cultivate that vision. We balance it out with knowledge and understanding of the rest of the Jedi compass to ensure we do not cross a line that would lead us into folly. Man takes inspiration from a multitude of sources. It's part of the power of storytelling. So why not Star Trek? In First Contact, Picard finally snaps at the mockery the Borg have made of him. He makes a bold statement: "I will not sacrifice the Enterprise. We've made too many compromises already, too many retreats. They invade our space, we fall back. They assimilate entire worlds, and we fall back. Not again. The line must be drawn here, this far and no further. And I will make them pay for what they've done." So he was probably a lot better at expressing it than I was. But I think you understand just from this quote exactly how angry he was at the Borg. And he didn't want anything else to happen. He didn't want them to progress any further. Cultivating fortitude does not just mean that you press forward. It also means you stand your ground. Back to our lesson on tolerance, you came up with some things that you considered non-negotiable beliefs. But what about the things you will fight for? You can say society or community, but we can't really be in every situation. So there are things that we must recognize as a niche we fall into. You may see that your fight is more in line with equality, or poverty, or unnecessary death, or maybe even injustice. These are things that you decide where to draw a line. At what point is something just not acceptable? When you know what is unacceptable, then you need a strategy. So there are things we must recognize in the niche that we fall into. If you fight against injustice, which could lead into the realm of law enforcement or criminal law or politics, you may see your fight as being more in line with equality, which pushes you into jobs like lobbying or civil rights lawyer, research, or even artistic expression. If you fight against unnecessary death, you might go into medicine, psychology, or maybe the military. By training in these areas, you can develop or work with someone else's strategy. Although Jedi are not legend seekers, there is value to be found in the stories of legendary figures, both good and, well, evil. Perhaps the most inspiring commonality of all of them is that they gave their entire life to the pursuit of their battle for the world they wanted to see. Jesus of Nazareth was willing to die for his faith. Joan of Arc died in the pursuit of a free France. Hercules gave his all to the journey of joining his father in Olympus. Kintaro of Japan became a legend through his story of placing himself in a dangerous situation and rising triumphantly. Even Hitler, whom we could pretty much call a legendary villain, put everything on the line to see Germany's freedom. Building fortitude requires much the same. To see results, you must give your best effort, pouring your faith into your cause. No win is enough. You will never change the hearts and minds of everyone, and in trying to do so, you might create more resentment than acceptance. In a battle, it might seem advantageous to kill everyone in sight and leave no one to fight against you in the future. But there are examples where saving the life of an enemy combatant may prove invaluable. During World War II, for example, Germans captured and brought a U.S. soldier named Elmer Richardson to their military hospital. Because a lone doctor fought to ensure his life was spared, Elmer worked to convince U.S. forces to not bomb the hospital, which doubled as a military stronghold. Knowing when your battle is finished can be tricky, but it is an invaluable skill. It is always said to us that we need to face our fears. Not all fears are necessary for you to overcome, like a fear of extreme heights if you never plan on standing outside on something really tall. But the fears that do need to be overcome are the ones that tell you that you're not good enough, or that you cannot do anything to help a situation. There is always something you can do. Gun at someone's chest? Take as much information in and run to call the police. Just don't do nothing. You might not be able to save someone, but you can help get them justice in the long run. If someone comes to you with a problem, help them to the answer. If you don't have the answer, find someone that does have the answer with them. There is always something you can do, you can try to do. We, as Jedi, need to break out of the I can't mentality and move into the I'm going to try regardless until it becomes I can do something. Our entire life is filled with obstacles we personally have to overcome. The path forward to build fortitude in our lives will not be easy, and even those with a natural inclination to it can be broken if they do not find their own strength of will. For your assignment, think of a time when you were faced with great adversity and just wanted to give up. You might have actually given up, or you may have pressed forward. What did you learn about yourself and your ability to cultivate fortitude in your life, if at all? If you have not cultivated fortitude in your life, what fears prevent you from being able to move forward and moving with the quote-unquote will of the Force, or in some instances, with the will of your deity? Thank you for joining me for this lecture, and may the Force guide you.